Good morning, good night, good afternoon, whatever part of the world you're on today. This episode of As the Tarot Turns is brought to you on purpose with purpose. I am your host, Nacho Mama. Some people call me Crystal, some people call me Criddle, like Riddle with a C. Either way, Nacho Mama is a personality, not a person. Today we're going to read for the collective of Cancer, the Cancer Collective. See what sort of messages Spirit has for y'all today. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe if you so feel inclined. I'm super excited to be where I'm at. And much love to all of you that have already subscribed, and much love in advance to all of you that are about to. Let's see what we got, Cancer. Cancer Collective. Universe, please use me as a conduit to express the best message for Cancer's personal growth. Please and thank you. Samodati. Amen. Cancer. Let's see what sort of messages Spirit has for y'all today. We have strength. Some of you might be dealing with a Leo. Or a Taurus. Or an Aries. So it looks like you're butting heads against something. It's taking you some strength to not butt heads, or somebody is trying to butt heads with you about some sort of investment that you've made. Rather it be something that you're working on, like your way of handling children, of your way of running your household. I feel like you are in some sort of not mind control. I don't know why I wanted to say that, but if I wanted to say it, I guess there's some of you that somebody could be trying to have some sort of mind control over you. But they're trying to get you to change your mind. They're trying to get you to do things a different way, to see things a different way, to do things their way. I feel like you're coming up against a lot of headbutting, you know, especially with this Aries card there. And it's bringing you a lot of anguish. Like some people are doing things cruelly just to be cruel, you know, or saying things just to be cruel. It makes you feel out of control. Makes you feel like you have no control. Whoever this is definitely controlling. You know, they are very controlling. They control how you spend your money, what you spend your money on. Even what you do with your kids, they're trying to control. And it just makes you feel like you've done it all for nothing. Like there's been no progress. That everything that you keep trying to do keeps getting rebutted or reversed by this person. You know, there's a person out there that's reversing everything that you've done, everything that you've worked for. You know, like if you have a kid that goes to their grandparents or something, like they spend half the time with you and half the time with somebody else. It's like all the work that you've put in with this child, or with, you know, with their behavior, they come back and they're right back to being the same way that they were. And it's getting frustrating. Like you're frustrated by this situation because somebody thinks they have more control or more understanding or more know-how than you do. And it's like, how are you supposed to know what's best for my child? That's my child, you know? But you're up in your head about it. Like, I don't feel like this is the card of peace. It's a Libra card, but I don't feel that you're at peace with it. I feel that you are very in your head, very conflicted, very confused, concerned, like not sure how to approach this person because they might have higher authority than you, you know, like a grandparent, or, you know, like they might have been your parent, but they're not. If it has to do with a kid, then follow your own intuition, you know. I feel like somebody is trying to undermine your authority here with their authority. We have negligence with the Virgo card, and gluttony. So it's like if they go out with their grandparents and their grandparents just let them eat whatever they want, do whatever they want, see whatever they want, watch whatever they want. Or if they go with their dad lets them watch video games all day long when you've been, you know, establishing a routine where they're supposed to do their homework. They're supposed to do, you know, get things that are important done first. And it's like it just undermines all of your all of your authority when they go out with this person, you know, if this has to do with a child, which a lot of you, it might have to do with a child. If it's not a child, it's still some sort of, like, as soon as you leave the room, like, your co-workers undermine whatever it was that you just presented, you know. Yeah, rejection. They reject whatever it is, but they don't do it to your face, it doesn't feel like. This person isn't doing this to your face. They're going behind your back and doing it. They're undermining everything that you've put in place, all of your authority behind your back. You know, they haven't come to talk to you about it. Even though you've tried discussing it with them, they haven't come to try to discuss it with you. Why they're feeling like they have the power to do this, or why they just let this situation keep going on the way it is. You know, and it makes you feel like that it's like a losing battle, that you're fighting a losing battle. Whatever it is, I think you need to put your foot down. Stop getting distracted. Stop letting the distractions, you know, like, oh, mommy's on the phone, so go ahead and play your video games. Or like there's some sort of major distraction that somebody takes advantage of. It's like they're using your disability against you. Structure. So you have somebody that's very stuck in their ways, you know, or that's what's lacking, is the structure. It's like you have structure in one place, but a different structure in another. And most of the time we grow up in, you know, especially kids nowadays, we spend part of the time with our grandparents, part of the time with our dad, some of the time with our mom. Like, there's different rules for each one of the houses that they go to, you know, and then they come back to you and all the work that you've been putting into it is just diminished. But whoever this person is, like if it's an Aries, we have 2 Aries cards on the table. So if you're dealing with an Aries, they're very hard to talk to. They're very hard to listen. Like, they don't like to listen because they run this ship, you know, and it causes a lot of conflict. Like, even mentioning the idea causes a lot of conflict. So you kind of just want to let it go. Like you just want to let it be how it is. It's like you don't want to fight. You're walking away from the fight with this Aries person, you know. But the first cards out were strength, you know. So the universe is asking you to have strength to stand in your ground, to make sure that you establish your own perimeters of rule here. Because I feel like you're just kind of letting people walk on you about this situation. Don't let people walk on you. It's like, no matter how much you try to be nice, or try to implement your own ways of doing things and seeing things, it's like that's like you're just getting walked on. But don't lose hope. Don't lose sight. You know, you got to keep that faith. The biggest obstacle of faith is pessimism. Like, how can you be pessimistic about your hopes and then call it faith? So you can't be pessimistic and say you have faith at the same time. It's either you have faith or you're pessimistic, you know? But it's making you miserable in some sort of like heart area. Whatever this person is doing, whoever this Aries person is that is imposing their rule over your rule. It's like you feel like it's like hopeless, like winning a losing battle, you know? You just feel like there's no point. So you just like kind of let it be, let it be. And I don't think you should let it be. And you know you shouldn't let it be. Your intuition is telling you that you need to stand up. You need to do what you need to do. I feel like this Aries person is really hard to talk to. So silence. Or your intuition is telling you to be silent. It's like there's no point in talking to this person, so you kind of just walk away. You know, but you have the intuition, you have the moon card. An indecision with the 9 of Cups. If your intuition is telling you to not address the situation, then by all means, follow your intuition. You know, if your intuition is, if it bugs you, there's a reason why our emotions are intact, you know? There's a reason why when we walk into a place, we automatically feel like anxiety or fear, or, you know, like if you've been having a perfectly good day all day and then this one person comes in, you know, examine how you feel. You know, our emotions are there as a guide, as a guide, you know, and sometimes we have to address the things that make us uncomfortable. I think you've been silent for far too long about something that's been bothering you, or about somebody that just undermines whatever it is that you try to put into place. Flipped out to the devil. The devil in reverse. You know, so don't listen to the great antagonizer. Don't listen to the great distraction. That great distraction is going to tell you that you're not good enough. But you have the endurance. You have the endurance and the strength. The strength was your first card out. And you have perception. Most of the time, it's not about how our message, you know, it's not about what it is that we're saying. It's about how we're saying it. You know, so maybe try to approach this emperor person, this person that doesn't like to listen, in a different manner, you know, in some way that you wouldn't normally do. Especially during times of retrograde. But if this has to do with a child or something, you have every right to say how it is. You know, you have every right to impose your rules, even if it's grandparents. You know, the grandparents, your parents might have had authority over you, but they don't have authority over how you rule your child, what rules you're putting into place for your child, you know? And it makes it hard when you have a child that goes to, you know, you try to set rules in, you know, no video games after 10 o'clock. You tell your child, no video games after 9 o'clock, no video games after whatever o'clock, you know, and then they go to their grandparents' house and their grandparents just undermine all of the rules that you've set into place. Well, what does that show your child, you know? You got to make sure that you have consistency within the households that your children go to. Otherwise, they're not going to listen to you when they get back, you know? Oh, well, grandma says that da-da-da-da-da. You know, but you have to remind them that no, that you are the authority here, that you are their parent. They might be your parents, but you are their parent. And you would really, you know, like, don't get in an argument about it. Just be very matter of fact. You know, lots of times that, like, other parents like to break your rules because it makes them in favor of the child. You know, but that's not doing you or the child any favors, really. It's like they think they're being the nice guy. They think they're being the good guy. But in reality, it's just breaking the structure that you're trying to establish. But we have rest. You need to rest your mind, like rest about it. Give it a rest. If it's something that you've been arguing about, and arguing hasn't gotten you anywhere, well, stop arguing and try something different, you know? There is no argument when it comes to your children, like that's your child. Especially if it has to do with grandparents, or, you know, that there's got to be some sort of balance and understanding. They might think that they're doing the good thing, you know, and being the cool parent, being the cool grandparent, being the cool cousin, the cool auntie, you know, trying to win favor with the child. But really, it's just causing problems with the structure that you're trying to establish, you know? If every time that they go out and go to their grandparents, go to their aunt's house, go to your, you know, that they just let them do everything that you ask them not to do, you know? And then the kid thinks that he doesn't have to do it at home anymore. And it causes conflict. It's like you feel like you're backed into a corner. You know, you don't want to tell these people these things, but it's like you have to, you know, in order to set up your own structure, in order to establish your own structure. It's like I feel like it's either you undermining the parents' authority, or they're undermining yours, you know? I mean, if you're a grandparent out there and your child is asking you not to do something specific with their child, then make sure you respect their wishes on that. You know, make sure you're following the rules that they have set, even if you think they're silly. You know, it's their child. They have the right to tell you, you know, what sort of rules they need in place, even if you don't agree with it. Got 9 of discs. So whatever you're working on is going to pay off. There will be growth. There will be steady growth. There will be accomplished growth. It will be something that you will be able to tangibly see. And it might come from some sort of withdrawal. And this is the Cancer card. So maybe it's you that needs to withdraw, Cancer. Either withdraw how you feel about the situation, or like if you can't change how you feel about it, then you have to change where it is that you're feeling, you know? If you can't change that every time that this person does this, it makes you feel like this and this and this, then you have to change the actions of actually doing it, right? If it's not something that you can change, then maybe you can change how you feel about it. But I think there needs to be some sort of cooperation, you know, in setting this structure. You know, realization. The Ace of Swords. Some sort of truth. Some sort of realization of truth needs to be established here. And most of the time, it's not in our message. It's in our delivery. You know, it's not that what we're saying is wrong. It's usually how we're saying it or how we're perceiving it. You know, it's not usually the message that somebody is telling us that's upsetting us. It's how they're telling us, you know? So maybe watch your tone, or ask them to watch theirs, you know, in a non-attacking manner. Just repeat back to them like, okay, what I'm hearing you say is this and this and this. Is that correct? Is that what you are saying? You know? Because sometimes, like, words are tricky, man. You change one word and it changes the whole freaking dynamic of a sentence, of the structure. Let's see what sort of cards we can get from the Spirit of Ganesh. Spirit of Ganesh, what do you have for our Cancer friends today? What sort of advice do you have for Cancer? Cancer, what sort of advice do you have for our Cancer friends today? Childlike expression. Positive outlook. And wholeness. Let's move these guys over here. Childlike expression, positive outlook, and wholeness. Where'd my book go? Sorry, guys. There it is. Right in front of my face, right? Childlike expression. In truth, within every soul exists as an aspect known as the inner child. You can champion your inner child's emotional life by listening carefully to what you need and want in your own heart. You may have been taught to give up your own desires for the sake of others. This is not necessary. Ganesha is bringing the guidance that that not acknowledging your desires and needs takes away from your life force and defeats your spirit. As a child, you were a sensory expert. It is now time to re-stimulate your inner child's ability to look, listen, touch, and explore the world in order to reconnect with your emotions. Practice trusting your inner knowing or senses. Give your inner child love and a voice. Express your true feelings. Connect deeply to yourself on an emotional level by allowing all of your uncomfortable feelings to reach the surface of your awareness and be seen and appreciated. And remember that that's also we have to do that with our children, right? A lot of times we expect children to just be happy, but they are little people that don't understand nowhere near as much of their emotions or the things that are going on in the world as we do. And a lot of times we silence our children. Why are you sad? Don't be sad, Instead of trying to talk to them, we don't allow our children to feel. So sometimes we need to actually let our children themselves feel, and be allowed to feel, be allowed to have a bad day, be allowed to have these human emotions that they don't even know how to respond to yet. You have to remember that your child is only a child. If you have a hard time dealing with your feelings and you're an adult, imagine how hard it is for the child to really understand and deal with their feelings, and then to not be allowed to feel. Make sure that you give your child permission to feel. And we have positive outlook. 29. How you feel depends on your own mental attitude, right? We can't have a bad day with a good attitude, and we can't have a good day with a bad attitude. The many faces of Ganesh reflect how you feel about the different aspects of your life: spirituality, health, finances, relationship, emotional well-being. It is important to remember that circumstances are not good or bad, but always neutral. It is how you approach the situation that will determine your outcome. If you choose to see something as depressing, it will be. If you choose to see it as encouraging, it will be. Your mind determines how your day will go. Your state of mind has influence over your body, your relationships, and your emotional well-being, and how you view your finances. Every day you are so careful when considering what you will eat during that day. You have an opportunity to be just as discerning when it comes to how you think. You can conquer your moods, no matter how bad a mood you seem to be in. Make up your mind that you are not going to be controlled by your moods anymore. If you find yourself in a low disposition, take a moment to acknowledge what brought this up for you. Take positive action to shift back into happiness or being positive. Right? It is totally, we might not have any control whatsoever of our outside circumstances or how other people respond or how other people react, but we definitely have control over how we react, how we act, and how we feel. If you don't like how you're feeling about something, then do some work. Go inside and examine what it is you're allowed to feel however you want. But if you're going to feel that way, acknowledge it and own it, Own why you feel that way. If you feel that way for no freaking reason, well, at least own that you feel that way for no reason. Right? I feel happy today for absolutely no freaking reason. I feel sad today for absolutely no reason. And if you could come up with a couple reasons, then own the reasons why you feel sad, but also own the fact that that's what you're choosing to feel about that situation. Like lots of times we are programmed to respond one way or another. We are programmed to respond like, oh, if this happens to you, this is the way that you should feel. If this happens to you, you're expected to feel this way. If your tire goes flat, you're supposed to be angry and upset. And, you're programmed. Not only do they program you what to think, they program you how to feel about whenever things happen. Nobody says you have to feel that way, right? Nobody says that. Nobody says you have to feel this way. We were just programmed to respond that way. And once you become aware of that you have control over your own emotions, then you can pick and choose how you feel about any situation that arises whatsoever. Right? And then we have wholeness. Acknowledge the oneness of all life. Recognize that you are part of something larger. You have a connection here with not only this life and physical body, but with the divine and the universe. Ganesha is guiding you to recognize the sacred truth that you are a divine being, here to give and receive love. It is time to recognize your role in this life. You are complete and whole as you are. You lack nothing. The simplest way to win hearts is through your actions. Green is representative of the fourth chakra, the heart chakra. The heart chakra is the center where we experience love. When the heart chakra is open, you are able to create a safe and supportive, loving environment. When the heart chakra is clear and in balance, you will find compassion for all life. You may be more empathetic. You may be able to see the divine in other people. You will find that you are happy and fulfilled because you are fulfilling your divine purpose in service to humanity. Your sense of self is not limited to the ego. Your consciousness will expand, and you will realize that you love others, that to love others is to love yourself, because we are all one. This card symbolizes peace. You are asked to take a moment and hold the color green in your heart. You may experience a soothing, relaxed feeling that will bring a sense of renewal and self-control. If you are in need of healing, breathe deeply and affirm your health and healing. A lot of times, like, people only listen to respond, not to listen, right? People in lower vibrations will seek revenge instead of understanding or justice. Like, there's a difference between justice and revenge, right? There's a difference between holding a grudge and forgiveness, acceptance, forgiveness. There's a lot of these emotions that we carry for no reason. Those burdens, the 10 of Wands that we carry for no other reason than for the fact that somebody told us that we were programmed to believe that that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to carry this emotional wound with us forever and ever and ever and never let it go, because how could you let it go? The whole universe has trained you and programmed you to believe that you're supposed to hold on to it and have that anger and the bitterness of something somebody did to you, like however many years ago, It's like, but what does it feel like when you let it go? What does it feel like if you're not trying to seek revenge, if you're trying to seek understanding and forgiveness? What does it feel like to not have to explain yourself to other people? To not feel the need to prove who you are, We were programmed a lot in a lot of different ways. And unprogramming these things doesn't just happen overnight. So give yourself a break. Definitely give your child a break. If this is a child that feels repressed, like they're not allowed. I mean, children want nothing other than for their parents to be happy, So they will purposely hold themselves away from feeling whatever they're feeling, away from asking questions, away from, oh, I don't want to upset mom and dad. I don't want to upset mom. I don't want to upset dad. We have been programmed our whole lives with information that we had no idea about. But the fact that you're here listening means that you're on the right path. I love you guys. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe if you so feel inclined. And on that note, I'm out. Vroom, beep, beep.